Hey folks, this is a video about a week-long challenge I took recently. I've always wondered if it'd be possible to make a game using only the phone in my pocket, and when I saw that Godot 3.5 was available on Android, I figured this would be a very good time to figure out if that was just a pipe dream. I also wanted to challenge myself a little bit. Can I make a full microgame in 1 week? Before I start, I wanted to apologize for the lack of actual footage in the video or proper GIFs. Pretty much only really using a couple of screenshots and this really bad webcam footage. The point of this challenge is to see if I can make a game using only my phone, which is a really cheap phone. It was probably about $100, and I wanted to see if it was possible for anyone to be able to make a game. Doesn't matter what kind of equipment they have, like it's either a kid who wants to make a game on their phone because that's all they have, or a teenager with their school Chromebook, or a dad with a tablet, or whatever. But because my phone is kind of cheap, it also means I don't really have the power of any of the flagships, so it really isn't able to handle any screen recording apps. Trust me, I did try, but the most I'm going to be able to do is these screenshots and the crappy webcam recordings. I apologize if I don't remember to record them anyway, but sorry. I also want to preface this by saying I'm going in with a little bit of a cheat. First, I will be looking up things at the computer. I'm not going to subject myself to that when my phone already runs like trash as it is. And second, I got this little keyboard to type on when it's plugged into my phone. It's kind of cute, right? It was only $5. Trying to write code with the on-screen keyboard is hell, since Godot's Android app is stuck in landscape mode. I wouldn't be able to see what I was typing anyway. Trust me when I say this really doesn't help much, the keyboard. It just was an accessibility thing. I chose to make my sprites in Godot with an add-on called tldr, which was an add-on made for the Godot add-on gem. Pretty convenient. Plus it means I can make the sprites on my phone without needing to download another app. I'm already running into a problem. The screen is tiny. No shit, right? It's a phone, of course it's going to be small. Working like this is claustrophobic. It's cramped in all the wrong ways, but I'm making do. I tap where I need to and use the trackpad on my little keyboard when I need to be precise. I drew this fish with my fingers. This fish is the basis of the game, as it's a player character. Oh, damn! I forgot to mention what the game was even going to be. The idea for this game is just a little game where you have to eat smaller fish or food and avoid bigger fish. I'm just going to call it Fish Eat Fish. By the end of the first day, I got the fish to move to where you tap and follows your finger. I kind of got him to rotate, but not where I wanted to. On day 2, I ended up fixing up the fish's rotation and getting him to move properly. I also added a background and flipped the game to portrait mode, which I didn't really like and ended up flipping it back anyway. I didn't have much time to really work on this one today, as I was doing this challenge mainly in my spare time at work. But I was able to do at least a little bit. The reason I don't work at this on my desk at home is because, well, frankly, I've got other projects I'm working on in the meantime. On day 3, I got a lot done. I made a little food object that the player can get to get a little bigger. I also made it pick a spot and place it down. And by that I mean I cheated. There's this little line that it picks a spot randomly on. It's not just the entire screen. We're actually almost done. I'm very hyped about this. Just one more full night's worth of work in making the enemy fish, and then it's done. On day 4, I lied. This day was my only day off of work, so I didn't really feel like doing much. I did work on it a little bit. I was able to make the enemy fish object and was able to get it to spawn, but I wasn't able to get it to move properly, or like at all. I'll fix it up the next day. On day 5, I made absolutely zero progress. Nothing I tried with the fish worked, except telling it to move to a specific point in the middle of the screen. It would then stop in the middle and just do nothing. I spent the whole work shift, 6 hours of my spare time, getting nothing done by fiddling with the same approach over and over. I can feel myself burning out on this project already. I have like 2 days left, so I better be able to get the fish to work properly or this whole thing would have been a bust. I completely surmounted my programming brick wall and got things working, sort of. The fish don't rotate right, but to be honest with you, I don't really care. I'm sick of this project already and I wanted it over with. With a little more time, I got the fish to not bump into each other and told the player to dive if gets touched by a bigger fish. This day was the last day I was going to give myself to work on it. As it stands, I'm becoming increasingly more and more frustrated with the hardware restriction than I am by anything else. The phone isn't powerful enough, flat out. After I test the game, 9 times out of 10, the app crashes, forces me to reload the whole engine. When it doesn't crash, the aspect ratio gets messed up and I'm not able to see half the options. First of all, there's no way to really see the output part of the engine, which is how I can usually tell what's going wrong. I can see it after I close the game, but that's only on the rare occasion it doesn't crap out on me. Either way, I was stuck at work because of a call-off, so I had a few extra hours to work on it. Shortly after my lunch break, I ended up making the main play screen, and then I added the functionality to eat smaller fish and get bigger. Wait, hold on. Wait. That's it? I'm done? That's all I had to do? I'm free? I'm free! The game is now fully playable. All of the base functionality for the micro game is here. There's only a few things I could touch up and fix, but I've been frustrated enough by this whole process. So what's the verdict? Well, yes, you can make games on your phone. Although, I feel like this comes with a big disclaimer. Your experience will entirely depend on the hardware you're using and whether or not you're able to invest into it as well. If you're using your phone, don't. Budget phones will run into a lot of the same problems I did, with consistent crashing and heavy screen crunch issues. For the love of God, please use something with a little more power and a bigger screen. Your school-assigned Chromebook would work really well, or if you have an Android tablet, that would be better too, with a little keyboard, even if it's an old one. The only phones I could ever recommend for this in good conscience is a flagship phone like a Google Pixel or a Samsung Galaxy, one of the newer ones, not the older ones. Side note, you might just be better off using Parsec to connect to your main computer if you're trying this with anything other than Godot. If anything, this entire experiment was a fantastic showing of the flexible power Godot can offer. I am genuinely surprised by how well Godot ran on my phone, of all things. I don't think I'll be releasing this game on itch. It was an experience, and while I'm proud I was able to make something on my phone, this isn't a game I'd be proud to release. It's got programmer art, some random ass stock images as a background, a few bugs I'm not cool with. If I did end up releasing this as a full game, it would have to have a way better presentation. And developed at a computer. Thanks for watching. This turned out to be way more frustrating than it should have been, but I ended up enjoying it in the end. If you want to see more game development torture, click subscribe and follow me everywhere else to keep up to date. I've got another project I'm hoping to have a good amount of progress on by the end of the month, so stay tuned. Well guys, my boss found out I was doing this at work.